This is Russia, and to the right of the country is Siberia, but many people do not know how large that part of the country is. Shown in blue on the map, it covers 77% of the landmass of Russia. However, population-wise, Siberia is responsible for only 23% of the total population of the massive country. However, the sparse population is not the only strange thing about Siberia, because many mysterious things happen in that massive and cold region. In this video, we bring you the terrifying discoveries scientists have made under Siberia. Siberia is a fascinating place for many reasons. Located to the east of Russia's Ural Mountains, Siberia is known for its harsh winters and vast landscape. In fact, if Siberia were its own country, it would be the largest country in the world by area. At around 13 million square kilometers or 5.1 million square miles, Siberia makes up 3/4 of all Russian territory and almost 10% of the Earth's land surface. Siberia is a land of contrasts, and while the place is associated with harshly cold temperatures, the weather isn't actually cold year-round. During Siberian winters, the temperature can reach lows of -94 degrees Fahrenheit or -70 degrees Celsius. However, summers are warm across Siberia, with some parts of western Siberia reaching highs of 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius. This weather is due to the continental climate of the area, characterized by cold winters and warm summers. How long have humans lived in Siberia? Astonishingly, humans have occupied Siberia for as long as 125,000 years. In 2010, archaeologists discovered a human bone belonging to a hybrid of a Denisovan and Neanderthal in the Altai Mountains of Siberia. Siberian lands have long been home to indigenous groups, including the Nivki, the Evenki, and the Buryat. Siberia is home to the world's deepest lake, Lake Baikal, at 5,387 feet, 1,642 meters. It contains over 20% of the world's fresh surface water and is fed by over 330 rivers. The lake freezes over completely every winter, and you can find ice as thick as 6.5 feet in some places. Siberia is crucial to the economy of Russia because over 70% of the country's oil and gas comes from the place. Natural reserves spread over more than 2 million square kilometers. The Siberian Federal District comprises 130 Siberian cities, including 3 with over 1 million citizens: Novosibirsk, Omsk, and Krasnoyarsk. However, Siberia is full of strange, unexplainable mysteries, some of which can affect the whole world. For example, how do you feel about a 30,000-year-old virus coming back to life? And not just a virus, but a jumbo-sized virus. The ancient pathogen was discovered buried 30 meters 100 feet down in the frozen ground. Called Pithovirus sibericum, it belongs to a class of giant viruses discovered 10 years ago. This virus is wider in diameter than the other giant viruses discovered at 600 nanometers versus 500. It has a genome of 600,000 base pairs. Imagine the rungs on the DNA ladder which hold the genetic instructions to create 500 proteins. The virus is so large that unlike other viruses, it can be seen under a microscope. The last time it infected anything was more than 30,000 years ago, but in the laboratory, it has sprung to life once again. Tests show that it attacks amoebas. But why should you be concerned about this discovery if Siberia is thousands of miles away from you? It is because, as researchers put it, this is a recipe for disaster. They believe there could be more dangerous pathogens locked in the permafrost. Since the 1970s, the permafrost has retreated and reduced in thickness, and climate change projections suggest it will decrease further. It has also become more accessible and is being eyed for its natural resources. Experts warn that exposing the deep layers could expose new viral threats. Professor Jean-Michel Claverie from the National Center of Scientific Research warns, "It is a recipe for disaster. If you start having industrial explorations, people will start to move around the deep permafrost layers. Through mining and drilling, those old layers will be penetrated, and this is where the danger is coming from." For example, ancient strains of the smallpox virus, which was declared eradicated 30 years ago, could pose a risk because if these viruses survive in the same way those amoeba viruses survive, then smallpox is not eradicated from the planet, only stopped on the surface. By going deeper, we may reactivate the possibility that smallpox could become a disease of humans again. Fortunately, the Sibericum virus poses no danger to humans because it can't infect other animals or us, but other viruses could be unleashed as the ground becomes exposed. If that is not scary enough for you, we bring you the mysterious but massive craters showing up across the tundra of Siberia. Due to mining and other human activities, it is not strange to find wide and deep holes in places worldwide. However, when a Russian TV crew flying over the Siberian tundra in the summer of 2020 spotted a massive crater 30 meters 100 feet deep and 20 meters wide, it raised many questions. The hole was striking in its size, symmetry, and the explosive force of nature that it must have taken to have created it. Scientists were not sure exactly how the huge hole, which was at least the 9th spotted in the region since 2013, formed. Initial theories floated when the first crater was discovered near an oil and gas field in the Yamal Peninsula in northwest Siberia included a meteorite impact, a UFO landing, and the collapse of a secret underground military storage facility. However, scientists would later discover a massive crater appearing violently and explosively in the Siberian tundra. It was a powerful blowout of methane gas that threw up ice and rock hundreds of feet away and left a gaping circular scar in the empty and eerie landscape. It was the 17th hole to appear in the remote Yamal and Gaida peninsulas in the Russian Arctic since the first was spotted in 2013, mystifying scientists. The craters are thought to be linked to climate change, and drone photography, 3D modeling, and artificial intelligence are helping to reveal their secrets. The new crater is uniquely well preserved, as surface water hadn't yet accumulated in the crater when we surveyed it, which allowed us to study a fresh crater, untouched by degradation. It was also the first time researchers have been able to fly a drone deep into a crater, reaching 10 to 15 meters below ground, allowing them to capture the shape of the underground cavity where methane had built up. The drone took around 80 images, enabling the researchers to build a 3D model of the crater, 30 meters deep, or the equivalent of 3 buses lined up end to end. The model showed unusual grottos or caverns in the lower part of the crater, mainly confirming what scientists had theorized. Methane gas builds in a cavity in the ice, leading to the appearance of a mound at ground level. The heap grows in size before blowing out ice and other debris in an explosion and leaving behind the massive crater. The methane source could have been from deep layers inside the Earth or closer to the surface. It could also be a combination of the two. Permafrost is a vast natural reservoir of methane. Meanwhile, methane is a potent greenhouse gas, much more effective than carbon dioxide at trapping heat and warming the planet. The Arctic is warming 2 times faster than the global average, and the warmer summers have weakened the permafrost layer, which acts as a cap, making it easier for gas to escape. Some experts estimate that soil in the permafrost region hold twice as much carbon as the atmosphere, making the area extremely important in the fight against climate change. So it is easy to see that climate change impacts the probability of gas blowout craters appearing in the Arctic permafrost. With satellite imagery, the researchers were also able to pinpoint when the crater formed. They believe the mound would have exploded at some point between May 15th and June 9th, 2020. The crater was first spotted during a helicopter flight on July 16, 2020. The timing was not random because it was the time of the year when there was a lot of solar energy influx, which caused the snow to melt and the upper layers of the ground to heat up, which caused changes in their properties and behavior. While these craters have appeared in a very sparsely populated region, they pose risks to indigenous people and oil and gas infrastructure. The holes are usually found by accident during helicopter flights or by reindeer herders, but for the people living there, it could spell a disaster. For example, Professor Vasily Bogoyevlensky spoke to a reindeer herder who witnessed a massive explosion of a mound on a river channel in the Yamal Peninsula in 2017. Every morning, she was going to a small frost mound in the river because it was the highest place from where she could look after her reindeer. However, in the morning when the explosion happened, she started to feel something in her legs and she became afraid and ran, which saved her life because when she was about 200 or 300 meters away, the mound exploded. 17 craters have been documented so far, but scientists don't know how many there are in total or when the next one could blow out because they don't yet have good tools for detecting and mapping the gas emission craters. Let's hear what you think of the mysterious discoveries in Siberia in the comment section.